All right, now I'm gonna keep it real with you. And I feel like there's gonna be some people that don't like this, but I feel like a lot of portraits out there are not as fire as people say they are. Now, let me back up for a second, okay? Let me first say that everything that I'm about to talk about, I'm just as guilty as anybody else. So I'm not standing here before you trying to act like I am holier than thou, because I'm not. I'm just as guilty. But I think we kind of have a problem with portraits and in the photography world right now, and I want to see us get to a resolution. Now, what do I mean when I say I don't think portraits are as fire as people say they are? When it comes to portraits, a lot of times what we really are seeing is a person that's in the image that is, by society standards, cute, beautiful, sexy, whatever words you want to put in there. Now, disclaimer, I think we're all beautiful in our own way, but I'm talking about society standards. Obviously, society kind of has its standard of what it deems to be beautiful. And I think a lot of portraits that we see, people think they're fire because there's a fire subject in the portrait. But if we were to replace that person with what society would deem to be average or unattractive, would the image still be fire? Would there be more to the image aside from the person that would still make that image fire? I think the reality is a lot of portraits that we see, that we double tap, that we say is fire, that we praise, they have a beautiful subject, but outside of that, there really isn't much more to the portrait. Now, when I talk about this, I think about in the landscape world, where a lot of landscape purists, they'll say, if you have a landscape and you have this beautiful sky, if you take the sky away, does the landscape still stand on its own? Do you still have an amazing image? A lot of times you don't. When you look at a lot of landscapes, really what makes the picture is the sky. So when you take that away, the image is just average. I feel like that's where we are with a lot of portraits that are out there. You have this beautiful subject, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with shooting beautiful subjects. But when you have portraits like that, you take away the beautiful subject, what do you have? Nothing. If you replace the beautiful subject with someone that's just average, the image falls. The image isn't fire. The image doesn't get the likes that we get. So in the photography space right now, I feel like we are collectively praising a lot of these images and saying these images are fire. And in reality, it really is the subject that's in it. Now, when it comes to like portrait photography, I'm never one to say that like every image that you take has to tell a story or it has to have some deep, profound meaning. I don't feel like every portrait has to be that. Sometimes it's just fun just to shoot. We don't have to tell a story. It doesn't have to have this big purpose. But I feel like in the portrait photography space, we've become so accustomed to seeking out the model first. We want to have this fire model, and then we don't focus on the art of portrait photography. Our images don't have anything else but the model. We build the image around the model, but the model is the priority. We want to have someone that's going to get us clicks, is going to get us likes, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm standing here before you right now saying there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I think as photographers in general, I'm generalizing here, as photographers, I feel like we've gotten lazy with portrait and we've lost the art, and really all we care about is the subject that's in it. And a lot of times you'll see images where you have a beautiful subject, but they're not really doing anything. They're just there. I don't know how often I see models or subjects, in bikinis or wearing something skimpy. I get it, sex sells, it's gonna get clicks. But outside of that, if you were to even take that model in that picture, put them in regular clothes, would that image still stand on its own? A lot of times it wouldn't. As a whole, photographers have gotten so lazy and they're focusing so much on what will be accepted versus stepping back and thinking about the art and saying, you know, visualizing an image that you could put anybody into and the image still stands on its own. Now, as I said in the beginning, I am just as guilty as anybody else. Don't be thinking that I'm standing here before you right now saying that I'm not doing this too. I am making this video challenging myself as well. Okay, I'm challenging myself as well. I want to start making more images, doing more portrait photography that is more than just the person that's in it. I want to be able to make images that no matter what person is in the image, that image is still strong, because conceptually it's strong, creatively it's strong, compositionally it's strong. I want there to be other elements to my portrait photography than just having a beautiful subject. I really want to make these videos and bring these videos to my channel really to get you thinking a little bit deeper and to have the dialogue, okay? I'm not sitting here saying that I have the answers or that, you know, the way that I'm saying we need to do something is the only way or the right way. I'm not saying that at all, but I do challenge you as a photographer. If you are a photographer watching this video and you shoot portraits, I challenge you to start thinking about the image first and the subject second. Come up with something creative or conceptual that could really allure and fit with anybody, whoever is in that image, it could work. And then if you take that and then you put in this beautiful subject, that's like icing on the cake. Like the cake is already good. You want to have a good cake. I'm hungry. You want to have a good cake, then you can bring in your beautiful model, and that's icing on the cake. But even if you bring in somebody and they're just average, the cake is still good. People are still going to want to eat the cake. Now, the reality is this, right? Will it get as many clicks? Will it get as many likes? Probably not. Probably not, because that's just the way it is. There's just a lot of people out there, they just want to see a pretty face. They want to see skin. They want to see a booty. They want to see the boobies. And that's just the way things are right now. And I would love for that to change. But, you know, I think we're a long way away from that not being the way that things are. But it doesn't mean that as photographers, we can't push ourselves to be different, to do different, to change the narrative, to change the way that things are. It starts with one person. And I'm going to start with myself. Let's start making portraits that truly are fire. And they're not just fire because of the subject that's in the photograph. So there you have it. I appreciate you tuning in. This is the first video like this that I've put on my channel. There will be more. I want to drop a couple of these a month. So there will be more. These are basically just talking heads. There's not going to be any fancy B-roll. So you can just let these things play and listen to me talk. Please, if you would, go down to the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how you feel about what I've said. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel like you've fallen victim to this? I want to know what you think. Head down to the comments. Definitely let me know. Let's get the dialogue going. Let's talk about it. Greatly appreciate it. On your way out, please give this video a thumbs up. As you know, it definitely helps. As always, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate you listening to me talk tonight. So until the next one, take care.